Rather than present you with the topic and then conclude with the takeaway piece of advice, I'm going to start with the conclusion, the takeaway piece of advice right now, which is you may get more distance from conceptualizing yourself as being a taboo breaker, a boundary breaker, a madman, a mad woman, a mad person in terms of achieving your goals, in terms of being successful, because success is just the achievement of some sort of objective that you have stated, right? Your self-concept as a taboo breaker, a boundary breaker, and someone who is mad, who is obsessed with getting that done, may be more important than anything else. That's the conclusion. Why I think this is a topic that needs to be explored is because of a video made by Mischief Maker, who edits all kinds of different videos, but he often takes words that Joe Rogan has said, and he created a video called The Madness of Excellence, which was based on things that Joe Rogan had said and cut together, and I'll show it at the end of this clip. And it's been on my mind for a couple of years. It's just percolating in the background. And I got into a conversation, / argument, in the pub about what generates success and what's the difference that makes a difference in terms of success. Because it's a great way to start an argument in the pub, by the way. Somebody had said to me, as people have said to me over the years, what are you talking about? It's easy for you. Like whatever it is that I'm doing, whatever piece of entrepreneurial work I'm on at that moment in time, it's easy for you. You love all that stuff. And I was like, do you really think that when I'm creating new endeavors and new projects that I'm sat there going, this is the most fun thing ever. I'm really having a good time. Far from it. I like the Elon Musk philosophy. One day on YouTube was on autoplay, and it was going through, I was listening to something that was like a Dan Kennedy seminar, and then it switched. And it went to this guy talking about how awful it is to start businesses and how you probably should consider, you know, within the first 2 or 3 businesses that you'll have at least 1 or 2 psychotic breaks and at least 1 nervous breakdown. I didn't know who it was because I was in another portion of the room. I was doing some housework or something, and I had that on to distract me from the tedium of the housework. So I couldn't stop it. So it ran for like another 10 minutes. I was like, I don't know who this guy is, but he's a genius. This is exactly how I think about business. Extremely pessimistic, extremely negative view of the whole, just business is just awful. It's just a dreadful, chaotic shit show. And I was like, this guy's a genius. It was Elon Musk. It was Elon Musk talking about it. I actually think that that is a healthier approach to your ideas. I mean, there's many people who follow this channel who are entrepreneurs, who run their own businesses. I have personal trainers following me. I have life coaches and psychotherapists who follow me, who are effectively entrepreneurs because they're running their own business that at some point needs to be marketed. But it doesn't matter what the field is. It doesn't matter. It could be health, it could be weight loss, it could be relationships, it could be anything. The difference that makes a difference might be in your self-concept, and you might be staying too safe. And what I'm suggesting is that it's not about generating clearer goals. It's not about setting objectives in a certain way. It's not about capital. It's not about any of the shit that people come out with, or genetics, or you're just this way. It's nonsense. And people write in the comments, of course it's about capital, everything takes capital. People will give you money. People will give you money. There's people out there waiting to give other people money. So capital is not the difference that makes a difference. Absolutely, capital is totally incidental. Money is not the thing that is going to make a business work. You want to know what makes a business work? A human. You go, no. It's a group of humans. Yeah, eventually, but it will start with one. If that human is there, and they're prepared to go the extra mile and the extra mile and the extra mile after that to make sure it works. And they need to have a pit bull-like attitude of, I'm going to make this work or I'll die trying in the process. Then it won't work. If that human is not there, it almost certainly won't work. If that human is there, regardless of everything that goes wrong, and things will go wrong. What does the American army say? they have an acronym, SNAFU, SNAFU, situation normal, all fucked up. You should expect everything to go wrong. Murphy's Law, if it can go wrong, it will go wrong. That's the correct approach to business. Not idealism, not this stupid, pumped up, piss weak Anthony Robbins, fulfill your dreams. It's horrible. It's just awful. It's a horrifying thing to put in people's minds because I know it doesn't work. The only thing that works is for people who are running a pyramid schemes, multi-level marketing schemes, or selling used cars, which is a state-based sales process. And even that now, in the year in which we live with the technology we have, isn't going to work because there's too much information available online about what a car is worth. So even that isn't going to work anymore. The correct attitude, I think, is to be stoic, is to be negative, and to see yourself. That's the correct attitude. Stoic, negative, expect it to go wrong, and just to have the bleakest sense of humor imaginable. It's all gone horribly wrong. Okay, I must be doing something right. That is what business is. It's you swimming upstream and being battered by debris going the other way. And when that doesn't happen, you go, oh, I had a good day today. Instead of the other thing that happens is you go in because you're told to fulfill your dreams, follow your dreams, pursue your hopes. It's nonsense. Reality TV-based Western decadent propaganda that can only generate terrible moral weakness, terrible moral cowardice. Fulfill your dreams. It's a Disney story. No, it isn't. It's the real world, and it's okay. It's absolutely okay as it is. Thank God it's not all about, you know, the ego masturbation of fulfilling your dreams. The business world would be full of clowns if it were, but it isn't. The business world, entrepreneurs, small to medium-sized enterprises, is more frequently populated by people who are a bit odd, people who are a bit eccentric, people who are potentially low on agreeableness and high for the trait of being comfortable with confrontation, because you have to be to get things done. So my hypothesis here is forget all that pump up, follow your dreams, piss weak Anthony Robbins stuff. It's nonsense, and you know it is because you've already tried things a few times and it doesn't work that way. Because reality doesn't look like that. That's a fantasy, that's a dream. You're being sold kind of like a propagandized opiate, mental opiate. Here you go, fulfill your dreams, or follow The Secret and sit around with your thumb up your bum visualizing. Where did that get you? And there'll be people in the comments going, it works actually. I'll be like, so you're living your best life, you're living a perfect life, but you still feel motivated to comment on a YouTube video because somebody said something you don't disagree with. Not by their words, but by their deeds shall ye know them. You're giving away way more information than you think. So I think self-concept is hugely important. Way more important than anything that you can do, because that's just the way the brain works. The brain is more functioned around ego and our sense of who we are. And the self-concept that you might need to adopt if you've tried to do something and failed, and you've tried it 4 or 5 times, and you failed every time, and you've hired people to help you, you bought a book that told you how to do it, it still didn't work. The self-concept that you might be wanting to internalize is, I am a taboo breaker, I'm a boundary breaker, I'm mad, and I'm prepared to go further than anybody else. This is usually what gets things done. And when we're talking about excellence in any field of endeavor, it is usually tinged with a kind of madness. If you want to know more about why this works from a biological point of view, from an evolutionary point of view, and the functioning of the brain and what the brain is for, then please stick around for the next video after this one. Cheers.
I'm not conceited, I'm just convinced. Harry, listen, I'm so modest, I can admit my own fault. And my only fault is I don't realize how great I really am.
A lot of success, I think, and this is my belief about athletics, that a lot of success in athletics comes down to almost like a psychosis. You know, like there's at a real high level of anything, there's a certain amount of almost crazy behavior to get to this incredible position like a Michael Jordan or or Muhammad Ali or any like elite highlight, Mike Tyson in his prime, and there's a madness.
Okay, so I'm going to describe to you now my hypothesis for why I think major success in any field of endeavor, especially the rarer fields of endeavor, actually requires a level of madness, and that it runs contrary to human evolution, to human biology, and the way the brain works for you to be successful. What human beings are is repeaters. It is very, very human to repeat. The point about being human and repeating is it's key to survival. The things that you did yesterday, the way you ate, where you slept, in an evolutionary sense, whether you slept in that cave over there or whether you went in this one here, the fact that you did it yesterday, whatever it was, it then transfers over into how you drive to work, or whether you put your left shoe on first or your right shoe on first. What you did yesterday, you didn't die, so therefore do it again. Repeat. And what this creates is a neurologically bound comfort zone of repetition, through which we will just repeat to stay inside of the comfort zone and keep getting the same results. So if you're going to keep repeating what you've always done, then you're going to keep getting the same results, which means you can't generate the phenomena in your life called new success, which is why 99.999% of businesses fail. There's statistics out there that say 80% of businesses fail. Nonsense. The overwhelming majority of businesses fail because the human beings who are running them fail. And why? Because you want to stay inside your comfort zone. It is against your survival mechanism to move outside of the comfort zone. And when we say comfort, don't think that means it's because it's a pleasurable only zone. Even your pain and your frustration within the comfort zone is known and brings you certainty. People will die for certainty. They'll kill themselves. They'll engage in a habit or a pattern of behavior that they know is going to murder them ultimately if it provides them with the golden goal of certainty. They want to be certain. Here, this line I've drawn here is the line between the comfort zone and new action. New action is a huge taboo. New patterns of behavior, it is a taboo against your tribe, it is a taboo against your culture, it is a taboo against your evolutionary drive to survive, because it is not repetition. You should repeat what your father did. You should repeat what your mother did. We should all do what everybody else is doing. We should conform. And I'm not a non-conformist. This shit works. We all live better and we have a higher chance of survival if we keep doing what everybody else has done. But this impulse within us to repeat and to not move into the new territory, the new boundary, and engage in new action keeps us stagnated, stultified, bored, frustrated, anxious, depressed, and lacking in progress. Progress only takes place here. All new religion, new spirituality, new science, new sporting endeavor, breakthroughs in psychology, whatever the field is, have to occur here. Because if we're here, nothing new gets in. This is a neophobic, a new-phobic environment or state, and this is a neophilic state, a loving of the new. But what's so bad about being over here that sets off every alarm in the culture, in your family unit, in yourself, that will adrenalize you because you're breaking this genetically memorized taboo, is you're moving into a land called maybe. Has risk in it. It's one of these weird things, like when I'm interacting with people, I've been employed and running my own businesses since I was 23. And when I'm conversing with people about business, there is this weird sort of, it's almost like a break in language, a break in concept, which is this concept in business that all entrepreneurs know all too well, all business people know too well, called risk. And people who have not run their own business, it's like a blindness, it's this weird place. So you talk about risk and it's nothing. The eyes just, they don't even glaze over, they don't even blink. They just look right through you. So they'll come forward with business propositions and business ideas and partnership ideas, and you'll say to them, who's taking the risk and how? And they'll go, no, forget about that. I've got a great idea for protein cookies. Okay, all right, but who's taking the risk? And how are they taking the risk? And how are they going to be rewarded for the risk that they're taking? No, you're getting bogged down in details. My protein cookie is the most delicious protein cookie ever. It's like, dude, that's not how businesses work. It's not a question of, oh, I have a really good idea, therefore this is going to work. It's not how relationships work. Businesses and relationships function exactly the same way. Why? Because they involve human beings. You can name anything. Sport and finance operate on the same basic principles. Why? Because we are gifted with one brain, not 5. And it's very clever in some ways. It's a wonderful piece of machinery in some ways. And it's incredibly mind-numbingly fucking dumb in other ways as well. Your brain is not a new result creating machine. Your brain is not a goal orientated machine. I've believed this for years because I had it drilled into me by personal development coaches throughout the 80s and 90s. We're goal orientated. No, wrong. We seem to be, but we're not. The brain, your primary biocomputer that you're operating your conscious and unconscious mind from, is not goal orientated. That is secondary. That is, in fact, less than secondary. I would go so far as to say it's incidental. It's actually the goal orientatedness of the brain is incidental. That's why many people set goals and never hit them. Because being goal orientated, you could say, well, you want a sandwich, so you go eat a sandwich. So that's goal orientated behavior. You want your shoes on, you go put them on. That's goal orientated behavior. Incidental and secondary. The brain's primary function is mapping. What we like to do is we like to map things. And if you think about something you love to do in your life, a hobby, a pastime, the way you switch off, the way you dissociate, the way you get away from the world when you really want to just relax, you'll find that what you're doing is you're allowing your brain to map. A mapping exercise, it could be doing a crossword, it could be playing a video game, it could be reading a book that has a story about a person who did a thing that was dangerous and that's all mapping. That's mapping behavior. And what we have here that stops you from being successful, that requires that you literally, and I'm going to explain why I'm using the word mad. Why would somebody who calls himself, who's interested in mental health, who calls himself a life coach, use a term like mad? I'll explain it to you in a minute. You've got to get past the clash of the maps, the clash of the mindsets. So what we have here is a known map. I'm talking physical terrain now. As a Neanderthal, as a human being who's evolved over the millennia, what your brain is doing is it's saying, I want to live in this terrain. Why do I want to live in the known and stay away from the unknown, where there is the land of maybe and the land of risks? Even though this is limited and it's painful, why do I want to stay here? Well, because I know where the fresh water is. I know where the poisonous berries are. I know where the good psychedelic mushrooms are. I know where the delicious squirrels are. I can hunt them and eat them. I know where the non-poisonous berries are. There's a good cave over here. It's bad in winter because it leaks, but it's great in summer because it's nice and cool. And then in winter we can stay over here. It's known. That's what the brain does. It wants to map the world, and then once it's mapped it wants to go, I know now. This is why religious, spiritual, psychological, business, any field of endeavor becomes eventually even politics, a political movement, fluid, of the moment, of the zeitgeist, an expression of the moment, of the now. It's a phenomenon, it's unfolding, it's exciting. And then what happens? It sinks back into bureaucracy because it was pushing out into the new, but it's not natural for humans to do that. Only the trailblazers, only the mad keep doing that, and the majority go back to the known. So we solidify back into dogma, we solidify back into bureaucracy, because this is the comfort zone. That which is known is the comfort zone. All of the good stuff, and the bad stuff, by the way, is out here in the land of maybe. So I'm a Neanderthal. I know where my food is, I know where my shelter is. It's painful here, it sucks, it's boring, but at least it's reliable, so I'm going to stay here. Here's the boundary. The hill, the mountain in the distance. Ugh, don't go over there. We don't know what's over there. We hear stories though, there's monsters over there. Ugh, don't do it. Your grandfather lived here. All your ancestors' bones are here. We buried them over there. Don't go too far away from your ancestors' bones, Ugh, because that's where your power comes from. And you go over there, you won't be able to hear them whispering to you anymore. They won't be able to give you the guidance that they're giving you now, Ugh. Don't go over those mountains, Ugh. But Ugh is mad. He is a taboo breaker. He is a boundary breaker. He must break the boundaries. He must do that which he should not do, or else he gets sick, or else he gets anxious and depressed, he gets bored, and he starts to fade away. So he goes, and he goes into the new area. But there's no guarantee, because it's called risk. He may go over that mountain and freeze to death. He may go over that mountain, get down the other side, finds there's another tribe there that bashes his head in, and then cuts his head off and wears it as a hat. He may go over that other side and find nothing. Nothing, there's nothing there. There's just nothing, it's just tundra. Nothing. Nothing to eat, nothing to drink, nothing out there. And then he has to come back and he'll feel the right plonker then, won't he? What did you find over there, Ugh? Nothing. And all the tribe will be round going, we flipping told you there's nothing over there. Now get back in your hut. So all of the growth comes with risk, and it's all outside the repetition zone, and it's all outside the comfort zone. So why am I using this word mad? That's not very politically correct. It's not the modern term for, insanity. And am I even describing insanity? Well, many of our ideas about what is sane and insane are actually social dictates of highly enforced norms of society, the coordinated way in which we as a tribe, we as a culture, we as a big tribe, as a nation or a country, get things done. I live in England. It's not normal in England for me to waddle down the high street with my pants around my ankles, singing a merry song. But there's probably somewhere in the world or at some point in history where that would have been cool, and I wish it was here now, but it's not. The world can change though. There are things that you do, we reach out and shake each other's hands and say, hi, how are you doing? If you make eye contact with somebody, you look away because you make eye contact with a stranger and just start staring at them, and it's considered not polite to do that. These are just, you're not even taught that. You just pick it up. These are the coordinates. These are the social norms by which we get things done. And if you don't repeat the dogma, if you don't stick to the way the ancient book has told us since the beginning of days, we must eat, we must pray, we must sleep, we must mate, then you are breaking a boundary and you are mad. Because this is not sane behavior. Conforming, repeating, put your hat on, grow a beard, not too long, the wrong length, that's the right length, okay. And you go, nowhere works like that. Yes, it does. There are places in the world, even today, now, where if your beard is the wrong length, they might kill you. For realsies. That's a real thing. That's humans. We don't get to go, oh yeah, but that's them over there. No, them's is us. They're operating with the same brain at the same point in evolution, arguably. At the same brain with the same point in evolution, and this is how we act. This is what we are. Oh, you have the right hat on. I won't kill you. Oh, you're wearing the right robes. Oh, I better obey you. Oh, you have the other robes on. Oh, I can kick you in the face. That's still, we're still wearing outfits. with mystical badges on. Like I wear an outfit with a badge on, and I go, look at my badge, and you go, whoa, I better do what you say. Why? Slap it out of my hand. You know, there'll be terrible consequences if you slap the badge out of the hand, because all the monkeys will get together and agree that that rule needs to be enforced. So if you come outside of that, you're mad. This, I think, is what makes success so difficult, is that you're going to turn your back on the known, you're going to turn your back on your culture, you're going to turn your back on your tribe, and just do something new. And you go, people aren't that shallow. It's not about shallow or not. It's about what the brain is developed for, and the brain does not like new. There have been instances, and it's, I believe personally, or some people wouldn't agree with me, it's probably a genetic based memory that doing the new thing and pushing yourself out there, many humans, many animals, this is across all species, will have been eaten for doing exactly that. Or will have had their head stoved in, or met some other terrible end for doing exactly that. It is mad to do that. It's insane to do that. The safest, most guaranteed way of ensuring that your security is there, your bed is warm, that you have calories to eat in the morning, is to do what everybody else is doing. And that's not even wrong. We can't call this a software fault. It's not a software fault. It functions perfectly. This is correct. If you want the most guaranteed way of living a certain life, then find the people who are living that life, who've been living that way for as long as possible, the most generations back, the way that they eat, the way they pray, the way they bond, the way they do, even down to their banking practices, you'll get the same results. Boom. You get a doctrine that is laid out for you, a dogma that already works, or you try and do something new. But this is the realm of the insane. So if you're going to strike out and be into the unknown and do your own thing and be a trailblazer, you need to realize that doing that, there's going to be many unconscious impulses inside of you. It's got nothing to do with low self-esteem. It's got nothing to do with childhood trauma. It's got nothing to do with people telling you can't do it. It's actually in the brain, and I think it's in the genes that says don't do it. All that other stuff with the childhood trauma and the low self-esteem and all that, yeah, that's on top. That's still real, that happens. Self-sabotage is a real thing. What I'm saying with this hypothesis is self-sabotage is like breaks in the internal system to stop you from doing something crazy that could get you killed. But the difference is that there are parts of your body and brain and parts of your unconscious that don't know the difference between a real threat and a threat that is vividly imagined. There is no, if you start up a new business, you're unlikely at the end of that to be devoured slowly by a saber-toothed tiger. I'm not going to say it's impossible. I'm going to say it's unlikely to happen that way. Or that if you try and do something new in whatever your endeavor is, whatever your field of endeavor is, that you're going to get killed for doing it, or get the people you love killed for doing it. It's really unlikely, but the genetic memory is still there, and the brain doesn't trust the new. It doesn't like risk, and it doesn't like maybe. But there are people who live outside of the safety, and they live inside of risk, and it has to be said, there seems to be something attractive and compelling and charismatic about the people who are mad, what do you call them? Like, it's literally insane. This is the definitions of insanity. You're not wearing the cloak that everybody else is wearing. Your beard's at the wrong length. You're saying the wrong words. That's how we find out that you're mad. And then we need to do something about it, imprison you or whatever, change you. Also comes risk. And there's something charismatic and compelling about people who'll move into the new and engage in risk. So if you're trying to get something done and you're banging your head against that wall and it's not working for you, the one key element that might be making a difference is you need to be crazy enough to identify and say, okay, I'm going to break some taboos, I'm going to break some boundaries, and I'm going to do something new here, and it's going to suck a bit, because this is the comfort zone and this is the not comfort zone. And out here, there may be some pain, there may be some trauma that is as yet unseen. Don't come to me if you do something that is risky and you got hurt for it, because I told you that this was risky. Risky. new. It's mad. I'm not saying don't do it, I'm saying it's risky. Okay, so if you're going to try and do something and you're going to try and be successful, or you've tried to do it and it hasn't worked in the past, being obsessed, being driven to go beyond that which other people are prepared to do and to take it further, this could be the difference that makes all the difference. Hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for your time and your attention, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon. Cheers.